States, and I'm not trying to get in a fight with Eddie Bravo or the high priest of Flat Earth, Dave Weiss, the Flat Earth podcast. And, you know, I should go up to the Dallas Flat Earth Symposium and shoot a report. That would be entertaining and interesting, because I want to be convinced of this, and then I'm going to be the one that, like, gets the plane during the summer, and then we just fly across Antarctica and to the other side and debunk all this forever.
That'll never happen.
It'd be a top History Channel, Discovery Channel show.
I'll put $1,000 on right now. I'll put 1 Bitcoin on right now, Alex Jones, that you do not do that.
I'll double that.
1 Bitcoin.
Okay, I'm going to reach out. We'll have to fly down to Chile. We'll have to get the expedition, and we're going to fly across Antarctica to the other side, and then you're going to say it's fake.
Dave, explain to them how that's never going to happen. Explain. They're not going to let you.
It never happened. If you look in the Guinness Book of World Record for south-north circumnavigation, the flight goes down to, I believe it goes down through Santiago, Chile. It touches Antarctica, and then it doubles back and comes back and goes up to the North Pole. That's not circumnavigation. That's going out to the edge and back to the middle.
Again? Tell us what a search engine. We'll show it.
No, he said the Guinness Book of Records.
I know, but we can show that.
The Guinness Book of Records. They gave the record to circumnavigation, and when you actually look at the path they took,
search engine, aerial circumnavigation of the globe. Now I know how Magellan did it.
Explain Magellan.
Well, he was part of the
let me bring up another thing. People say we've known the Earth is a ball, is a sphere for 500 years. Aristophanes figured it out with sticks and shadows. That's nonsense. Aristophanes didn't show up in any literature until the 1980s, right? And in 1900, teachers were being persecuted that were trying to teach heliocentrism in class. Everyone knew that the Earth was flat in the early 1900s. It only took a couple generations to change us, start a couple wars, get people focused on other things.
Stop you there. All I know is AP ran a headline that I wrote a book about Sandy Hook and lost a suit. I never wrote the book. I'm not in the book. We contacted them and they said, we don't care. It stays out. And now I don't even know anymore. They lie so much. I mean, the level of lies is insane.
So, but why do you believe this then? Why do you believe the ball thing?
Because now the head of Bank of America said 2 years ago that the world doesn't exist and we're inside Silicon already. I mean, my God, this is all insane. Now there's not even a world period. It's a matrix, and
That has nothing to do with flat Earth. Simulation is totally different.
Hey, how do you prove it's not just a simulation? There's mathematical calculations.
There's no proof of it.
I'm being sarcastic.
That works on a ball Earth and a flat Earth. Doesn't matter. It doesn't prove either.
Is the HBO show Baller part of subliminal programming to make people ballers?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Think about the Rock's head. How round is that?
Talk about the Flat Earth Society. Talk about that.
Yeah, the flat. Right. So when people search the flat Earth, Obama mentioned the Flat Earth Society. I can't count how many times during his presidency. They want people to go to the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is nothing to do with flat Earth. It is a controlled opposition site that if you go there, it has nonsense. It has a little bit of truth and a bunch of nonsense. And if you go there and look, you're going to turn away and never look back again because it makes flat Earth ridiculous. We are not.
It's the first thing that comes up on Google. When you go Flat Earth, they're going to take you right to the Flat Earth Society. They're going to capture curious people, and then they're going to turn everybody off. That's the plan.
Alex, why are they hiding it?
Why would they do that? Why would they have a Flat Earth Society #1 search? Why?
Yeah.
Why, Alex?
Right there. Why would they do that?
Because Google cares about us.
Alex.
Exactly.
And anybody
care about our teeth, too. That's what the fluoride's about.
Anyone that's getting just a little curious, like, okay, I want to figure this out. If you Google flat Earth, you're not going to figure it out. You got to go to sites like Jeranism.com. Great videos. ODE Reality. He's really put together some amazing, amazing stuff. There's if you want the biblical side, Woketown, another amazing site, or my channel, DITRH, stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH on YouTube. I have all short videos there. If you can't remember any of that, just go to the flatearthpodcast.com video page, and it's all there.
Okay, I'm going to look more into this, and I get people have a right to question whatever they want. I'm not endorsing this because the media is going to lie and say that. But they've lied to us so much. This is what they've done to people's brains. And look, I think you guys are being scientific. It's good to do this. It's good to question. This has been a debate forever here on the planet. But do we have Dr. Nick Begich yet? Okay, he's ready. Thanks. That's all I need to know. Let's bring Dr. Nick Begich on, who exposed the HAARP weather modification, exposed the plan for the cell towers to control the brain, thousands of things. Of course, his brother's been a U.S. senator. His father, a famous congressman that freed up the land in Alaska. He's a real scientist, a real researcher, best-selling author, filmmaker. And he's normally hosting the fourth hour, and the fifth hour would be going to Owen Schroyer here on the show. But right now we're co-hosting with Dr. Nick Begich. Dr. Begich, what do you think about this whole flat Earth phenomenon, hysteria, craze? Is it like the great tulip bubble? I mean,
who knows? I don't know. It's not my my issue. But years ago, somebody sent me a packet of articles out of the New York Times from like the early 1900s, from when they were doing the Arctic expeditions and so on. And the things that were reported then were pretty bizarre. I mean, you never hear about it anymore, and you wonder, well, whatever happened to that? Because they were talking about. Well, they were saying like there was open land in the middle of this continent, this kind of thing. And I'll have to dig that clippings pile out, and I'll send you guys a copy there at InfoWars, because it was interesting. It's, half an inch thick of articles, around 1900, and around that time they were making all those explorations in the early 1900s, and they were reporting like regularly on what they were seeing in these overflights, and it pretty bizarre stuff.
What were they saying? What else they say they saw?
Well, they said they saw tropical, kind of environments, which didn't make sense, and so all of that. Yeah,
I just want to say something about time. Time, who's the god of time? Kronos. Kronos is what? Black cube is Saturn. That's all I'm saying. Keep that in mind when you start seeing time stuff brought up. It's all part of the game, dude. Kronos, the god of time. Where do we get child sex trafficking? Where do we get sacrifices from? The myth of Kronos. Just keep that when you keep, and nothing against the doctor, of course, because.
Let me just go back to Dr. Begich here, and also go back to Dave Weiss. Dave, have you seen this stuff about the New York Times reporting tropical stuff? It was an Arctic or Antarctic that you're talking about?
Antarctic. It's the Antarctic. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that. All of our history is a lie. It appears that the lands that surround our world were tropical at one point. Things change. I don't know. I'm here now. I can't attest for it, but we're being lied to about everything on such a level. Good people that want to believe and would never lie have a hard time getting through those lies.
And I think maybe some of it too is you get this trend of people who make their big breakthroughs and have a hard time sort of undoing them when new things come forward. And I think that's what happens in a lot of the sciences, quite frankly. I mean, you think about Clovis man in the United States, 13,000, 14,000. Yeah. Now we know better, 130,000 years old.
They tell us that, we were at horse and buggies 150 years ago or whatever. And then you look at a place like Angkor Wat, which is an amazing, it's bigger than the pyramids in Egypt. We couldn't build it today if we wanted to. And instead of changing their theory about history, they go, oh, that's an anomaly. And they move on. That's not science. That's scientific.
Right.
Dude, this is
and I think we're seeing changes. I think in the archaeological community, a lot is going on there, and you look at some of the things that Graham Hancock had done over his 25 years, and now even the mainstream starting to report on some of these things that are pre-last glacial age. Which all of that is really interesting to me because it certainly makes a lot more sense than the current narrative.
Well, sir, I think asking questions is important. Well, Dr. Nick Begich is here on the Flat Earth Extravaganza transmission on this Friday. Don't forget, I'll be back this Sunday here on the Flat Earth from 4 to 6 p.m. Central. One more segment with all of us, and Dr. Nick Begich takes over. But right now, it's the Tinfoil Hat Podcast.
Yes!